guys, welcome back to the Warcamp Broadcast, where we talk about all things Return of Reckoning, from RvR to class balance to organized warbands.
Yes, and today we've got a huge one. This one's going to take a while, so tune in. The Return of Reckoning team just dropped their 2026 roadmap, and there is a lot to unpack here. New dungeons, captured cities, scenario updates, class balance changes, itemization overhauls, Land of the Dead, and so much more.
I'm excited for this one. This might be one of the most ambitious roadmap announcements we've seen in years. So we're going to break down what was announced, what excites us the most, and what questions still need answers. Before we get into that, we're going to look back at 2025. There was a lot that happened, a lot of major developments that shaped Return of Reckoning throughout 2025. It's clear the team delivered an amazing year of updates. The headline feature was, of course, the long-awaited release of Lost Veil, bringing a brand new PvE experience for players to conquer. Alongside that, several classic dungeons received significant attention with updates and improvements made to Hunter's Veil, Gunbad, and Bastion Stairs. Class balance remained a major focus throughout the year, with numerous adjustments targeting tanks, healers, and melee DPS careers. We'll talk a little bit about that to improve both group play and overall game balance. How did you feel, Serj, about the class balance changes?
Well, as everyone is not surprised, I mostly tank. When it comes to PvE, I absolutely enjoy tanking. I started playing before these class balance changes came out, and I was having a hard time really getting into the tanks. I think I played for maybe about a month before. No, it had to be longer than that. I've been in the guild for about a year now, so it was a couple of months. I was having a hard time. I mean, I was really enjoying the game, but when the tank class balance changes came out, I was like, all right, this is really good. I really like this. I personally think when it comes to PvE healing, there's a huge mark missed. Not that the healing changes were bad, although I don't really care for DPS healers. Just gonna throw that out there.
Whoa.
In RvR, I'm sorry, a pure DPS should not be able to be out healed by a DPS healer, but that's not what we're talking about. I feel like PvE healing is just boring. I don't like doing it. Melee DPS changes were needed, but I don't really play melee DPS, so I'm kind of on the fence about that one. I'm sure there are a lot of people that hate them. A lot of people absolutely love the changes, but yeah, I really loved the tank change.
Good. As far as the healer changes, at the end of 2025, I was super happy. Now, 2026, I'm super happy. When the healing changes first came out, there were issues, and they've slowly been changed and updated, and now I'm very happy with where they're at. Aside from those,
you play a DPS
updates,
healer. Of course you're happy about where they're at.
I barely play my doc. It's fantastic. Along with the class balances and the new dungeon changes, the world itself has become more immersive. They've expanded voice acting, added new life and personality to the Warhammer setting, and I'm really looking forward to where they go with more of that voice acting.
Yeah, looking forward. Like, kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but looking forward to the new dungeon that they come out with. And if you have not yet experienced Syndestra singing to you, it is probably one of my favorite things in this game.
It's chilling.
It's so
chilling.
good.
We just experienced that live on stream, and on our last pull of the night.
The last pull, we were like, all right, guys, we've been at this for a while.
It's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Pull,
we gotta do this.
Yeah, we're done after this. And then we did it legit too. No bugs, no cheese strats, full legit. It was a
right
good pull.
In the fucking middle.
Yeah.
Let's go.
No, I don't like cheese and PvE. It makes it less fun.
I do like cheese on my sandwich though. Swiss cheese. Big fan. Competitive players also saw major quality of life improvements this year thanks to updates to scenario matchmaking. They're trying to create more balanced and engaging battles. And although it was a very shaky start with the updated scenario, I think it just builds a good base to moving forward. I'm excited to see what happens with scenarios.
I
Uh,
hope it gets worked out. I'm personally still not satisfied with where it's at. I'm pretty sure they have been hard at work trying to fix people's gripes with scenario. They're not done, guys. They're still
they're
working on
putting
the
forth the
game.
effort.
They're
You can
trying
tell
their
though.
hardest. If you want to inform the decisions on the scenario stuff, let the team know. They will be glad to bring you into the scenario matchmaking um, talks.
On top of that, seasonal content contacts received a substantial refresh as well. All 12 live events receiving updates, reward adjustments, and gameplay improvements. Behind the scenes development team is continuing to optimize their server performance. I've seen a lot smoother and more stable experience than I did 2 years ago when I first started playing. It's noticeable. And finally, Realm versus Realm warfare has seen some changes, some big changes, including RvR reworks with
And
the introduction of the new lockout system.
and even more changes in the roadmap.
Yeah,
Yeah, so they
it's
just
coming.
redid a bunch of RVR stuff, and now they got more stuff planned. But you said something about server performance, and I'm just gonna throw it out there for the people that are watching that are probably going to bring it up in the comments. But you think some of that improved server performance has been from the decline of the activity on the realm?
Maybe.
Um, I don't know, honestly. I'm sure we could look at year-over-year performance, but it does feel like it's gotten better. They have done work on the back end to improve server performance. I just know
I'll do
I've
work on your
heard
back
people,
end.
bro, you know how to make a girl blush. All right, so what do you think the most impactful change for 2025 was?
This is a tough one. Can I say two things?
Absolutely, but this is your
um,
show, sir. Do whatever you want.
so this is actually gonna be a hot take. And
Mm-mm.
I think the most impactful change um, is in the future is going to be this change they're doing to the scenario matchmaking system. I think it's
I
really going to
think it's
breathe a
huge.
lot more life into scenarios. That there was a time where they're just essentially dead, right? And I
Yeah.
think what they're doing when they're finished, we're all going to be very happy. There's going to be options other than just war camping in the lakes.
I'm not a
Uh,
fan.
we're going to have a lot of fun in scenarios, and I'm looking forward to that. Uh, but the most actual impact change that happened, right? I'm thinking the scenario thing will be like a future change that they just got started. But I think Lost Veil, one of the biggest complaints I heard going into this game 2 years ago when I first started was the gear gap. You're going to hit a gear gap and it's going to be horrible. There's a huge gear gap. LV dropped and added a new armor tier, basically, not a new ward, right? You have to unlock Invader Ward to be able to wear it. But you could be Renown rank 45 and be in, just below
Pre-bis.
Sovereign gear, pre-bis gear, and have a chance out on the battlefield against people who've been playing for 80 years.
Now,
Um,
just so
it's
people know, you
fantastic.
don't have to be Renown rank 45 to wear Lost Veil gear. I have tanks that are in full Lost Veil gear at Renown rank 25.
I
So,
was just saying an example because my
yeah.
guy is Renown rank 45, and he
Well,
feels like
my
pre-salt,
guy,
like
I'm
ready to
just kidding.
go.
Yeah. It now you are missing a lot of stats if you are low renown. Like
Mhm.
rank 0 renown, you are missing a lot of stats, and somebody that is at renown rank 70 is going to
Has
have one up on
significant
you. So
advantage.
yeah, it's a pretty sizable gap. So just because you have the gear doesn't make up for the lack of renown. So definitely still need that renown. And that's really what we all love about the game is that PvP. So don't think that just because you have that easier access to um, invader tier gear or warlord tier gear makes up for the lack of renown. It absolutely does not, and I can tell
Good
you from
point. Good
experience,
point.
it does not make up for the lack of renown.
Yeah,
Um,
my Black Orc is only renown rank 45, and he feels it. I'm like, man, I really need another 20 renown points before
yeah,
I could be super competitive where I want to sit.
I feel like in the DPS that I've played, I didn't really come online until 60. So
Yeah,
you're
that's
missing
about it.
a lot
That's when you
until
have
60.
enough points to pick up stuff like Quick Step, which I feel if you don't have a charge is absolutely necessary. You could pick up your Feudal Strikes or Initiative to get that crit chance down, and then you could really start
Who
putting
needs
some
feudal
points into the
strikes?
stat you want. Yeah, who
Just
needs
kidding.
Feudal
I'm
Strikes when
just
you have
kidding.
Initiative?
Okay, so the next question is going to grind some people's gears. Were the PvE updates worth the development effort? Meaning, do you think they should have allocated personnel, time, and their efforts into updating the PvE, or should they have taken all of those people and thrust them at the PvE, which is what the game is known for?
Well, I don't. Okay, there's multiple teams working behind the scenes,
Yeah,
and the
I know.
PvE team is different from the PvP team,
And they
and
help
they're
each other.
volunteers, right? They might not want to do
No,
PvP. They might have
they're
joined the team to
working.
do
They're
PvE
working.
updates.
Sorry, you took a breath, and I'm excited. You're they're working on the content that they are passionate about.
Exactly.
Okay,
That's
and
what I was getting at.
the you want people that play their game and are passionate about their game to develop the game, because then you get stuff like Camelot Unchained, people
Oh
that
my
don't
god.
care about their game and all they want is a cash grab.
I
And
tried
obviously there's
watching a
no
stream of
cash
that,
grab, but
and it
yeah,
was
I'm
so
throwing that out
bad.
there because it's the most recent thing, and I'm sorry, Tosh, that it didn't work out. Uh, it's still early. Maybe things will turn around for them, but still, these people that are working on Return of Reckoning are passionate about the game. They're passionate about the community. They want to make the best experience for everybody involved. The people that are working on the PvP stuff, the scenario stuff, that's what they want to do. The people that are working on the PvE stuff, we talked to Ruby in a previous podcast. He didn't want to see PvE die. He's passionate about that. So that's where he decided to turn his efforts. And it shows. The PvE has gotten worlds better. And they're still working on it. So I mean I think they're doing a great job.
So
So
can I answer the question before I was so
I'm
rudely
sorry,
interrupted?
man. I'm sorry.
No, I agree. I agree with
Rude
everything you said, and that's
me.
where I was going. Is that we have a PvP team who's hard at work. There's a lot of background stuff that needs changed before you start seeing anything. Um, and I wouldn't want to tell the people who are into doing PvE that they have to work on something they don't like, because then we're not going to like it.
Yeah,
We could see the love that was put into the PvE content, and I'm excited for both sides of the coin.
absolutely. And you've played games where developers were not passionate about their project, and it shows. And if you've
If you're
spoken,
passionate about PvP, sign up.
yeah,
There's spots open.
yeah, that's true.
Be the
All right.
change you want to see in Warhammer Online.
I agree. All right, next question. Which update? These are some spicy topics. Which update do you think players appreciated the least, despite it being important?
Oh, I think
I have mine.
you have your answer.
Yeah.
Why
And
don't
I'm
you go
gonna let
first? Why don't you go first?
Okay, you
Let
got
me
mad at me
brew about
last time. So
it.
I
You're gonna
think
interrupt me anyways.
I think the least appreciated update was all the PvE changes. The Lost Veil release, all the stuff that they did to change all the PvE content to make it more enjoyable for players that like PvE. I say it all the time. If you make PvE more fun, then more people are going to want to play the game to experience that content. Then there's going to be more people involved in PvP as well, because they're funneled into PvP in this game. You have to do PvP in order to get the best gear and in order to get high renown rank, yada yada yada. You guys know the spiel. So I think a lot of players are discounting all of these PvP updates because they don't personally like it, but it brings more boys to the yard. It brings more players. So
My milkshake.
my
I think you're wrong,
PvE
Serj.
brings all the boys to the. What
I
do
think
you
you're
think
wrong,
is the
Serj. I think
least appreciated?
so. I think that a very vocal minority of players dislike the PvE changes. I think the majority of the community likes it. Most people that I've talked to like it. To me,
Well,
it's
you live
actually
in an
the
echo
lockout
chamber.
system.
Kidding.
It's a lockout system that I've seen the most complaints about, even though that's what players ask for.
Yeah, it
I
is.
think people want something to blame for losing in the lakes.
Well, we say this all the time. People are never happy. You can do a poll, and
I'm always happy.
100% of the people can agree on the direction that they want to see the game move towards, and there's still going to be somebody complaining about the direction that the game moves. So like, there's always going to be somebody shouting from the rooftops that they don't like a change, even if it has the greatest impact for the greatest number of people, because it changes the game, the fundamentals that they liked in the past. And it's just the nature of humanity. But you have to do what is best for the overall health of the community, and it's difficult. I don't know what else there is to say about it. But I agree that the lockout system is probably the least appreciated. But I also would say that it's the most recent thing. So people are complaining about it the loudest right now.
Fair.
Has the lockout system improved lake balance?
That's hard to tell. So when it first came out, I think there was a lot of issues, which I believe they went to great lengths to fix, allowing people to switch sides when AAO is on the other side without any penalties. I think that was huge, but I'm still seeing, a lot of one-sidedness in the lakes, but I don't know if it can be attributed to the lockout system. There's a lot of other factors.
Well, no, I don't think that the lockout system in and of itself is going to change the faction that people want to play.
Exactly.
We talked about this. I like playing Destro. My friends are on Destro. I like...
Serj has friends?
Well, yeah, like
I'll be a
Toril
friend.
and Dino Bank. That's about it. Oh, Tally. I forgot about Tally. She's gonna get mad at me for saying her name.
Rude.
Alright, so the current launch for 2026, we're anticipating some changes.
Tier 3 dungeons, let's go!
We are anticipating some changes here in the new dungeons for both factions. One is dwarf and one is greenskin themed.
I hear Tosh throwing his phone across the room, and I'm done. I hear it.
Well, he doesn't have to partake. There was a lot of effort that went into making these dungeons. You and I got to test these. I thought that the new mechanics and the new dungeon
it's so good.
Really good. I thought
So good.
that the new mechanics that they brought to the game modernizes the content and really, it really stands out. It stands
New stuff you haven't
above.
seen yet, guys.
Yeah, it
New
stands
mechanics.
above the rest. Um, there's they're doing this to reduce the gap between the tier 2 dungeon, Sewer and Sakellum, and the tier 4, the intro tier 4 dungeon of Mount Gunbad. So this is going to be in the middle of that. There's
How
also
about the
going to
reward
be,
surge? Is it going to be
there's,
worth it?
well, if you would give me a second, there's going to be some new
Well, you
armor.
took a breath, and I got excited.
I know. There's going to be some new armor for completing these dungeons. So a new armor tier, and the whole itemization fixes that we're going to talk about later has really gone to help them creating new armor for the game. We talked about this in the past, how they're going to be able to create new armor with itemization. So here we go. And
Horizontal progression.
well, this is actually vertical progression, but
Is it a new in between wards?
it's going to slot
same ward,
into
right?
the tier 3 ward system.
Right. So it's horizontal progression of tier 3 armor.
Okay, true. You're right. I was thinking overall it fits into the vertical,
okay.
but yes, a tier 3 horizontal. You're right. Sorry, I misunderstood what you said. I apologize, my friend. So there is a
Understanding makes the world go
repeatable
round.
there's a repeatable quest that's going to be giving players a large amount of experience if you choose to take it. And
Nice.
who came up with this idea, Shep?
I don't know.
You did.
Who would have thought?
You
I
did.
know.
When we had our let me try that again. When we had our after action report with Ruby after doing the dungeon, you
Welcome,
asked the
everybody.
question, and Ruby said, yeah, that's a good idea. We'll look into it. And now it's a thing. So, they
Awesome.
listened to the players, guys. It was a good idea, and they liked it, and they ran with it, and they made it a thing. So if you want a fast way to get experience every day, then there's a repeatable quest in the new tier 3 dungeon. So thank you, Shep. And
Gonna help
we
you
talked.
level up faster through the mid tier.
Yeah.
And again, it goes back to what I said. If you want to see change in this game,
Become
sign up.
part of the community.
All right. So, is level 25 the right place to introduce group-focused PvE, Serj?
Introduce new PvE content. I think
Yes.
it's a really good middle ground, because the previous one was level, what, you could go in at 15 to 17,
15?
right? And then the current level is 32, but they've said in the past that it's going to increase to 35, 36. So it's a really good
Have you
middle
done
ground.
bad?
I think that's perfect. It gives players a place to go. I wonder if they're going to do the same thing with the repeatable quests for the experience in
That would be nice.
in Gunbad and Sewers and Sakellum.
That would be really good. I think they should, if they do that for Sewers and Sakellum, they should make it so it only counts if your party is within, the same range,
So you can't
level wise. So you
just
can't cheat the
get a
system.
carry.
Yeah.
I don't know,
That's
man.
no fun.
It's no fun for you and I, but some people want to level fast. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really have a preference for that.
So speaking of Sakellum and Sewers, do you think the faction-specific dungeons are a good idea?
I think that if it were me, I would have done one dungeon for everybody because of the development time, right? But I can appreciate the amount of effort that they have put into creating a faction-specific dungeon for both factions. I think that obviously it takes more time, but it just shows the amount of dedication that they are willing to put into the game to learn about this new world building tool, which we're going to talk about here shortly. And it's going to introduce a lot of new mechanics. So now if you play on Destro and you experience the new tier 3 dungeon and you want to go play on Order, you can swap and you got a whole brand new dungeon to experience. I think it's a really cool idea. Yeah, it's just an all around really cool idea.
I think so as well. I think it'll promote people to try out both sides and maybe even balance the the realm wars a little bit. We'll see. Maybe someone will switch over to Order to check out the Order dungeon and be like, "Man, I really like this side."
Yeah, and the new
We'll
voice
see.
acting
We'll see what
stuff
happens.
that they got going on, you might actually hear some cool stuff in there too.
Um, so aside from the experience bonus, what kind of rewards do you think would make players repeatedly run these dungeons?
I don't know, man. Like Gunbad, people do it for the gold. But I hear a lot of people complaining about having to do Gunbad for
If you're
money.
gonna complain about anything,
No, I
I would
understand.
say for
I
the
agree.
ward. The ward
Um,
progress would be a big reason.
yeah, but
They already have
repeatedly?
that.
I mean, the dies, people like dies. I think a currency, like a dungeon currency, that is like a PvE currency for purchasing
Oh, have a
certain
specific
things.
buy, and you need to have the currency to pay for it.
Yeah.
So you got to run multiple. That's a
I
good
just
idea.
I don't know how you get PvPers that hate PvE to run PvE content without them finding something wrong with it. So the players that enjoy that kind of thing, um, how do you incentivize them to experience the content? I mean, you just give them fun rewards, give them things that they're already going to be doing it, so reward them for doing the content that they are enjoying. This is it's a progression system. Like there needs to be incremental progression all the time, no matter what it is. That's just my
Well,
feeling about an RPG.
that's a really good point. Um, so how important are unique boss mechanics for simple stat checks? I feel like PvP players who don't really like PvE are going to want just simple stat checks and to rush through the dungeon. Well, excuse me, people like you and me that like PvE much prefer unique boss mechanics. What do you think? I think the community's gonna be split.
People that don't like PvE, or more specifically, people that don't like PvE in this game, they're not going to care either way. They're just going to complain, like, why did you guys use development time for this dungeon when you could have been making RvR better? Go read the roadmap. I mean, that's kind of what we're talking about right now, but we're just focusing on one aspect of the roadmap. You just give them time. So I don't like stat checks. It's not fun.
Yeah.
It's just you just sit there, you drink your
You have to have
coffee,
this gear, otherwise you
eat your
can't. You may
Cheetos,
not pass.
you fall
You
asleep.
shall not pass.
It's not fun. Mechanics,
Gatekeeping.
fun mechanics make fights enjoyable. And everybody has their own idea of what fun mechanics are, but you know, Shep just did some gameplay footage of Forever recently, and we're both highly enjoying the core gameplay loop of that game. So
All the
um,
mechanics, aside from a stat check, right? You could take on a level 12 boss at level 8 if you can dodge around and not get hit, and you pay attention to the mechanics, do the mechanics of the fight,
yeah,
and you could actually do the fight, and it feels fantastic.
it
So
was the
I
same
much
way.
prefer unique boss mechanics.
It was the same way in Age of Conan. If you could play correctly, you could take on things that were higher level than you were. You would have players that were half your level jumping you on a max level fully geared character if they were better at the game than you. That's interesting. So I don't know why people are pushing back against whatever, it doesn't matter. Moving
Well,
on.
Serj mentioned another thing about something coming up, the world building tools, right? One of the most exciting developments that they mentioned in their roadmap is the introduction of this brand new terrain editor. right? These are all new dungeons. This gives the development team powerful tools to create and expand content like we haven't seen yet in years.
Ever.
Ever. Since the game came out, right? That was new then, and this is all old. Future dungeons won't simply be reworks of existing areas. They'll be entirely new experiences built from the ground up, and we just tested that with one of the new dungeons coming out.
And it was gorgeous. They did such a fantastic job.
New locations, new encounters, environments that players haven't seen before in Return of Reckoning, and maybe changes to existing environments. While this system is still being developed, in the roadmap, the team has already outlined what they're doing. They're paving the way for new PvE content, expanding world building. The future of the games is pretty exciting, Serj.
No, I agree. I absolutely agree. This is going to bring a lot of interesting things. So, what existing areas, if they, utilize this tool, what existing areas would you like to see them rebuild or maybe expand?
Chaos Wastes, please. Chaos Wastes. Expand on it.
I think Chaos Wastes is so cool, but if you know the lore about Chaos Wastes, there's more to it than just a barren wasteland, right? I agree. I think it being a barren wasteland is really cool, but there's so much more that you could put in there. Excuse me.
Yes.
Do you think that custom maps are going to be more exciting than just reworking old content?
Not necessarily. I think reworking old content
Making it fresh.
is huge. Nostalgia is good, is big, right? If I go into an old zone and it's completely refreshed and has a facelift to it, like new places to hide, new rocks to ambush from, new paths to go on to get to, BO, battlefield objectives. That's huge.
The life of a small man roamer right there. That's so when we were testing the dungeon and we were experiencing the new stuff that they were putting in the world, we stopped between bosses and just looked around, and there's a lot of life. There's a story being told outside of the story being told, and it's so interesting the way that they did this. I think it was
that
really
poor dwarf
good.
who crashed his.
Don't ruin it! No, let people find it.
Love it. I love everything about it.
I did too. All right, so everybody came for this. Okay. Tomb of the Vulture Lord and Land of the Dead updates. Who remembers Tovel from live? I didn't play live, so I've only heard stories. I've lived it from listening to you guys talking about it in Discord, on streams, in YouTube videos. So, we are going to have new PQs in Land of the Dead. There's going to be secrets. There's going to be an event for the 4 tomes with special rewards. I'm not sure if anybody remembers any of this stuff, but you're going to have this. You're still going to have the weekly expedition, but now you're going to be able to explore Land of the Dead outside of the expedition. So there's going to be a giant scenario map for you guys to do PvP PQs. I'm assuming that is the plan, and that sounds very interesting. Does it not?
It does.
So we don't have a lot of information about what Tomb of the Vulture Lord is going to entail, but they said they're starting development soon, TM, and testing is going to start later this year, meaning that the development cycle is not going to take very long. They're going to, what is it, June? It's 6 months, guys. 6 months, and they're going to start testing. So it should be out next year at the beginning of the year
I
ish.
haven't experienced Tovel either. So anyone who's watching, let us know in the comments, what was your favorite memory from Land of the Dead online? On live, excuse me. Did you enjoy it? Do you miss the content? Are you excited for it to come back? Let us know.
Absolutely.
Now with this change, you're going to be able to go into Land of the Dead more than just once a week for the big 300 versus 300, 200 versus 200 battle. Excuse me. Um, do you think that Land of the Dead should be more PvE focused or RvR focused now that you can go to it
Bro,
during the week?
hands down, I think it should be RVR focused. It should be Land of the Dead as we know it, and just having PvP PQs. I mean, that's a no-brainer. Land of the Dead is supposed to be a giant PvP map. That's what it was created for, right? Well, I
I
don't
think it's
know
going
what
to be
it
fantastic to
I don't
have
know what
this
it was
big
on live.
RVR versus environment going on.
Yeah. You're going to
Be a lot
see
of fun to see.
PQs happening on the map, and you're going to go there and you're going to fight other players. It's going to give you a new way to experience PvP.
I think you're going to
So
see a lot of solo and small parties roaming around in there.
I would,
Doing
oh,
things.
I love Small Man, and this is going to make Small Man great. Let's do it.
Make small man great again.
6 and 12 mans, that's my jam. That's what I really.
What secrets and rewards do you think would make exploring the reworked Land of the Dead more worthwhile?
A hard question. I
How
you know
about
what
gold
we
rewards? You know what? The
No,
most
but
complained
here's
about thing from PvPers is that there's not a good way to get a lot of gold,
yeah, there's
especially
not.
on the order side. Why don't like some of the PQs, you get a gold bag, you could take out a 10 gold reward from it.
I think you
Um,
should be able to be rewarded heavily in gold. Um, 3
especially because there's a
gold
lot
for a
more.
gold bag is not that much.
No,
So I don't know, man. Like, I've had this conversation with other people in the past where people always say, oh, I think that we should get this reward or this reward. Like, we already have ways to get all these different rewards. So, you know, Land of the Dead has its own currency already. So why not
give
make the
out that currency.
PQs there give the currency that we already have currency for in Land of the Dead?
Do you think that'll take away from the big weekly battle?
Ah, people will still do it. You'll get way more for doing the weekly battle.
Then do you think this
Or
would
maybe,
turn Land of the Dead into an actual major activity hub where people just come here, they log on instead of going to the lakes? I'm going to LOTD and I'm going to roam around, do some PQs, and engage in some honorable PvP.
have you ever played other Realm versus Realm
Yeah,
game?
it
Really, they
it
have
kind
3
of reminds me
factions.
of leveling up in Stranglethorn Vale, right? When it first came out in WoW. I want to go do my quests, but then run into other people trying to do their quests and
And
be able to
kill
kill them. Yes.
them.
That's
I
what I
think
loved so much
I think
that I would love to see in this
there's
game.
so many things that could happen here, and I would love to see Land of the Dead turn into a a never a never ending battle.
Gankfest.
I would love it.
It'd be sick.
I would love to see Land of the Dead become a consistent place that people can go to fight. Small Man's would be a great thing for. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. The new lockout system that they just
Changed.
implemented. We have seen the new lockout system be met with a lot of pushback from the players. Players asked for this for a long time. So players can now can now freely swap
Swaply.
between the realms. If you join the side with AAO, you can circumvent the Renown and Crest lockout. The random King of the Hill event is still being worked on, unfortunately. And
I was really looking forward to that when they announced it, so I hope they fix it soon.
yeah, I think it's definitely brings something interesting to PvP. It's a really cool idea. I'd love to see it in action. But the big thing here is the campaign. The players have constantly complained that campaign means nothing. Right now, players are incentivized to just farm kills for crests. Right? There's no point in running the campaign, but they're fixing that. They're bringing back city sieges to the campaigns. We don't know exactly what that entails yet, but that's their focus. So people have been complaining about it for a long time, and they're fixing it.
Do you agree with these changes? I mean, so I think we can all agree that campaign progression has lost all meaning, right? We need some actual incentives to make people care about going to cities, winning zones again.
Yeah.
What kind of rewards do you think are going to drive players to want to push zones in order to attack a city?
There has to be an incentive other than just farming kills in Talabec land. I'm sorry. There's right now when you go into basically any Empire Chaos pairing where the war camps are directly across from each other and easy to get to, you basically are just war camp farming. There's large fights. There's large groups on both sides fighting, pushing back and forth in the war camp. I'm sorry, that's not fun. I'm gonna go play a different game if that's just what the game devolves into. I don't find that interesting. And I don't think anybody else finds it interesting either. It's just the most effective way to get crests. So they're trying to fix that. And I think they have. I think they're figuring it out, and they're trying new things. So we're just gonna have to see. So you said, do I like these changes? I've even said publicly that the AAOs, the lockout system should be removed, and you should be allowed to freely swap from side to side. Now, what we're seeing is people swapping. We don't see it often, but it does happen. We've seen it even before this new system, but it's happening a little bit more, where players swap to the opposite faction to throw a keep by popping oil before the faction is ready for it to be popped. There are things you can do to prevent that, like controlling the keep and making it to where only your guild can pop oil, or the alliance can pop oil. It's just players need to stop being so shitty towards one another. It's like, why are you swapping just
Not
to
gonna
make
happen.
sure that the other team is not winning? Like, do you really have to game the system to win? Is that the only way that you can win? Some people, that's just their way to play, and I don't agree with it, but it is the current system. It does happen on occasion. I don't know
I
how
think
you
it's gonna
fix
happen no
that.
matter what they do. I think
It
there's gonna
is.
be players that do it no matter what you do, and we just need
You're
to
right.
focus on the players who aren't doing it. And we need to these campaign pushes. There needs to be something at the end of a campaign push that really,
Like what?
makes people want to do it.
Like what?
How about we're doing 100 runs of PvE of LV to get an awesome cape. What if you win a city siege so many times, you can wear an awesome cape that no one else gets to wear unless you win City Siege this many times. How about a new ring? How about a new jewelry ring that you can only get a chance to roll on if you get a bag from winning a city fight? And then make it so the city fights lock behind pushing the campaign. You got to give an incentive that's locked
So
behind these events to
I
make
agree.
people want to do it.
They've announced a couple things that we're going to get into later. So how about the end game gear that they're releasing in the future? Not current end game gear, but the new things that they're releasing. What if you tied certain items to craft those things behind the campaign? You want progression and you want campaigns to mean something, so make people have to go to the city sieges and get the item that you need to craft these new things that you have coming out.
That's good. And speaking of city sieges, right? We're putting all this at the end of sieges because they just announced a new major feature that they're discussing for a future of these captured cities. Under current plans, successfully capturing a city during the war campaign could unlock new 24-player PvE raid content, right? Designed to be even more challenging than existing Chapter 22 raids, which we do weekly. Twice a week?
Bi-weekly.
The
Oh
development
yeah,
team is
we do
also
it twice a week.
twice a week. The development team is also exploring additional activities and rewards within the captured cities. We mentioned a couple things that we would like to see.
Let us know
This
what
is
you
a
want to see.
goal of ensuring that there's meaningful content available for all players, not just those participating in Chapter 22 endgame raids. We're talking about possible level 25 talismans. We'll talk about in a little bit. The overall vision is taking shape. I'm really excited to see it. They said the details are still being refined. They're working on it. And one of the biggest challenges I think the development team's working through is determining, how and when city captures will occur, and ensuring players across multiple time zones have a fair opportunity to experience and participate in this content. If it's the same time each week, like Land of the Dead, there's a lot of people asleep or working during that time. So I have faith in our current development team. They've been doing an awesome job, and I think they're going to continue to do an awesome job.
So do you think that once the city captured, that the raids should be all PvP focused?
I think it would be a cool idea if they could somehow implement a, they have to PvE to a certain point to fight a PvP fight. And then the opposing faction can sign up to go against the fight warband on warband battle. That would be awesome.
So one of the things that you get when you combine people together is you get gank squads. Some people like that. Some people like the thrill of the hunt. Some people like the thrill of being hunted. But most people, when you go into PvP, you don't want to be exploited. So those games that are PvEVP are pretty niche. And this game separates PvP from PvP. So
It does.
I think that them separate, once you complete the city siege and you have the captured, I think by having access to harder PvE content is going to be exciting. You still have to get there through PvP, but once you're there, you are rewarded with better stuff through PvE content that you do not have to do. It's just, it is there for you to do if you want to. So,
That's a good point.
so how many of our listeners have actually experienced Captured Cities on live? Did you play live? I think you said you did not play live.
I did not. I did not
Okay.
play. I did play live. I played live for a very short time. I think I got to level 20s with an engineer, and then I deployed. And by the time I came back, yeah, I wasn't playing Warhammer Online.
It was probably shut down by then.
Yeah.
So, do you think that the cities have meaningful enough rewards?
Right now, no. No way.
No,
There's no reason why I would ever go into a city siege, except maybe just to have some
content.
fun, have some content to do. But there's other content that's rewarding that I
Yeah.
like doing, so I'm gonna do that instead.
Um, so do you think that this is going to return city progression and restore the meaningful campaign?
I hope so. I think they need to seriously think about the rewards for doing it are going to be, and put some boundaries. You can't get these rewards unless you push the campaign. Um,
I
and
think the
I think
rewards
that's
need
going to
to
make the
be,
lakes a lot better.
yeah. I
I
think the
think it's going to
rewards
make the
need to,
lakes
you're
a
gonna
lot
want
better.
you're gonna want to do it. You're not gonna want to just farm crests all day. But the thing is
Exactly.
crests, like getting one crest per kill, if I just stand at the war camp and just constantly get kills, that's still gonna be better than pushing city. You know what I mean?
That's why I said a cape that you can't get anywhere else. So a jewelry piece you can't. Hell, make it for a chance to drop a piece of Sov gear. You don't have to spend War Crest on.
That's a, I don't know if I
It
agree
used to
with
be
that.
like that, right?
Yeah, it
It
did.
used to
It
be
did.
like that. That's how you got Sov.
Yeah, it
Was
did.
through sitting. That's why everyone did it.
Um, it was also, I've heard other people say that it was also gate kept. Um, because it was the best way to get, it was the only way to get the best gear in the game. So there were gatekeepers preventing other players from doing it. I don't know if that's true, but I can see how that could be exploited. I think there should be other rewards that are not tied to the best gear. I don't know.
I
I'm
didn't say best
excited.
gear.
Well,
Just new
Sov is the
gear.
best gear. Like not the best gear, but like a horizontal progression gear. Different
Right.
gear. Okay.
Right.
Okay. I could see that then. We're figuring it out, guys. We're figuring it out right here live.
Or pre-recorded.
Yeah, well, whatever. All right, Shep.
So, in addition, on the roadmap, scenario changes. I talked a little bit about how I thought it was one of the biggest upcoming changes that happened. Scenarios continue to be a major area of focus. I'd love to see scenarios become super popular again, and not just on the weekends. With the recent matchmaking updates aimed at creating a more balanced and competitive match for players, although there has been the downside of it uh, making it longer for some matches to take place. It's a give and take, um, and I think they're still trying to work out the kinks. A lot of people are not happy with it. I'm happy that they're working on it. They've also adjusted the reward system to place a greater emphasis on playing the objective rather than just simply chasing kills. Right? You
Which
have to be
people are still not
strategic.
doing. I've
Hey, I've
done.
been in some scenarios where we were getting slaughtered, but we've been winning by just doing the objective, and it's a ton of freaking crests.
I
It,
I've
I
I've been
like
in
it.
some scenarios where Destro was adamant about not worrying about BOs and just slaughtering the other team and
It
controlling
happens.
controlling them by killing them, and then once we win the fight, we can control the BOs. And guess what? We lost because they were too worried about fighting and not running the BOs. So
Hopefully, people learn.
I don't know, man. We'll
Hopefully,
see. We'll
people
see.
learn.
Yeah, just my experience. Not a huge scenario.
They
follower.
have said that a dedicated scenario focus group has been established. and they're providing feedback and helping shape these future directions. So hopefully, we start to see a more consistent scenario change, event schedule moving forward. Um,
Yeah.
and that would be nice if it aligns with live events. They're always looking to change the live events.
Yep.
And a lot of the least played scenarios are supposed to be receiving attention. Is that right?
Yeah, they've taken polls and they've reworked some of the mechanics in the least popular scenarios. So they're listening to everybody's feedback and try to make improvements to make these scenarios enjoyable for everybody involved.
What's your
I
least favorite scenario?
all of them.
Oh, come on.
I'm not
My
a,
my least favorite scenario is the one with a single flag in the middle of the arena. I
and you have
hate
to
it.
run the flag to your zone or whatever.
No. You run
Or you
into the
just control.
middle and
I
you
don't know.
capture the flag.
I don't
You
do.
just capture the flag and that's it.
What?
It ends
Excuse me.
up one team is at the other team's spawn, just killing everyone, and that's all it turns into.
You know what they
There's
need to
no
do?
strategy there.
They need to
Just
just
spam.
introduce a one, what is it? A kill, last man standing kind of thing. Maybe, I don't know, because some people like those types of things, but whatever, it doesn't matter. I'd
Oh,
say
like if you die, you don't respawn
you
until the whole
respawn
team
just
wipes.
until everybody else is dead, and then your team gets a point, and then you go again. You know what I mean? Team deathmatch. That'd be interesting. I don't know. I say none of them
Plant the
because
bomb.
scenarios, battlegrounds, and other games, they've never really been my favorite content. Um, I I just like killing people mindlessly, uh, playing the BOs.
You
Typically,
mean the
if
war
you're
camp push back and forth?
yeah, that's not fun. People that focus heavily on creating a pre-made group typically do really well versus pugs, and that's usually what happens. One side is a pug and the other side is a pre-made that's dominating, and that's not fun for me um either. And in my experience, order is more organized. I don't know if that's true, it just feels that way to me. I've heard the other way around from other people though, so
Grass is always greener on the other side, man.
I didn't say I wanted to switch.
Well, I'm just saying both sides think that the other side is uh, always dominating. Whereas if you look at, you can see that they're tracked, right?
Yeah, they
And
are.
I've looked at it, and it's like an even wave.
If you
I,
look
I
at the
feel like it
kill
just
board,
depends on when you get on.
people are always saying that Destro blobs are always winning, but Order always has the most kills whenever that's happening. So before you get all up in arms about who's currently blobbing versus who is whatever, go look at the actual stats and see who has the most kills in the zone before you say, oh, we can't win this. People give up too easy in this game. Like, I don't like fighting a blob as a 6-man group, but I'm still having fun. I'm also not out there raging in region chat about how people are not able to do anything. Just play the game. That's just me. I think we got a little off track.
A little bit.
Do you think that the longer queue times are worth having better quality matches?
Yes,
I agree.
I've had much better quality matches. And there's so many other things I could do while I wait for them to pop. I'm happy with it.
Are you hoping to see your least favorite scenario get reworked? What is your least favorite
Yes.
scenario, and how would you fix it? You did say what your least favorite
I just
scenario
said
was.
it was It's one where both teams start like on a little cliff. I forget the name of it. On either side, it's a very small arena, and it's green, right? It's like an elf area, and they charge into the middle. Both teams charge in the middle, and there's one like King of the Hill type thing, one flag or one BO just to capture and hold. There's no strategy other than whatever it is, a 6 versus 6 or 12 versus 12 or 24 versus 24 people getting together and fighting. It just turns into a death match. And that's all it is. It's just a death match scenario, which a lot of people might want. A lot of people might like it, but I don't enjoy it. I've always preferred the more, I like to call a Wrathy Basin type maps. From if you ever played WoW, Arathi Basin was one where
there's
there's
multiple
what
BOs that you fight over controlling, and then you get
yeah,
points for
yep,
having BOs every tick.
and they're
That is
located in
more
different
interesting.
elevations, different areas, and there was strategy to it. Even talking amongst the pugs, like, hey, this team hold this team hold this. If we hold these points, then we're good. We could win just by points. Don't go off. They're trying to pull you off the flag. I loved those. I loved the amount of strategy that even pugs got together and pulled out a win on a losing situation because we talked it out and held the right flags. And I would love to see that one, maybe not reworked into the same thing, but have a little bit more strategy behind it other than just killing each other. We could go to the lakes and fight Warcamp to Warcamp if we want to just kill each other. I mean,
Thank you. All right, so that kind of leads into one of the things that I've really been looking forward to. And I'm sure now that you've been playing the Squig Herder, you've been looking forward to the
yes,
ranged class DPS balances.
Well, I mean,
So,
I've also been playing Sork. I play a lot of Sork, and I'm really looking forward to them making some changes to that.
so the ranged DPS balance changes are coming up. The final changes are being made. They're working on them now. They said that they are going to be finished later this summer. So June, July timeframe.
That's
I'm
now.
thinking. Well, I know it's June now, but I said July as well, so it could be another month or two.
Ah!
So that's how time works.
I'm excited. That's so soon.
I've been wanting to put out some guides about our range DPS melee squig, some tank guides like how to chosen kind of things. But you know, with all these reworks going through, I've been holding off, and when the balance changes are done, I think it's going to allow us to actually push those out and have fresh content for everybody available.
Which range class do you think needs the most help?
I mean, I'm biased here. Obviously, Squig Herder.
I think you're wrong. wrong.
I don't
I
play
think
any
it's
other
Sork.
range DPS. So I'm gonna say Squig
The
Herder.
Sork cannot solo very well.
Have you seen WDB though?
Painful.
He is strong.
Well, he is full soft.
And?
Like the whole leveling process of the Sork is fucking horrific. Play a Sork. I want you to level a Sork.
Okay.
It is terrible. You need a tank and a healer at all times, or you're useless.
They say the same thing
Except
about
for
Choppa.
WBD. Yeah, I never played Choppa, so I can't tune in.
All right, you play a Choppa, I'll play a Sork.
All right. What class should the balance team be careful not to overcorrect?
If you ask me, I think that Shadow Warrior is too strong. I have been sent screenshots of 5.8k crits on Blackworks. Level 40 Blackworks in good gear. So why can you cast one ability and crit somebody for 2/3, 3/4 of their health bar with one ability from one class? So I think that Shadow Warrior, they need to draw a line and make sure they don't cross it, because I feel like Shadow Warrior is gonna get hit. Festering Arrow is gonna get hit. It's too strong.
Hopefully, they don't go too far.
And yeah, I think that they need to be careful not to push it too far. Honestly, if it was
That's a good one.
brought on par with ranged squig herder, like a ranged squig herder's poison arrow crits for anywhere from like 2 to maybe 3k. If it was brought on par with that, it would make more sense. It's doing 2 to 2.5 times more damage than the squig herders. Same
nuts.
exact skill.
That's
Same
and I love
cast
that
time.
skill. I've been running that skill on my squig herder just because I know it's a guaranteed big hit because it's corporal damage. So, how about new play styles? Like, I would love for the squig herder to have a ranged AoE option on one of their trees.
I agree.
What would you like to see?
Well, if you look at their their tree, they have the middle tree is melee. Leave it alone. The left tree is their path of big shooting, which is their long-ranged big hitting attacks, and their right tree is path of quick shooting, which is their closer range faster abilities. I don't know why they you got to be careful when you do this, but why couldn't you combine big shooting and quick shooting into one, and then, or maybe even just add a like repeatable AoE to either one of the trees, whichever tree that it falls into, and give squig herders a spammable AoE that does damage. They did the same thing to Witch Elf and Witch Hunter. Obviously they already kind of had their play style. It wasn't really changed. It just gave them a tactic that they could swap out to give them AoE. So, you know, why can't they do the same thing to squig herder?
Well, I think that what I would like to see, they've already done all this, right? They've done range DPS balance. They're working through the final phases of it. But what I would have imagined was, you know, on the right, the quick shooting tree becomes, you know, the single target, fast moving, mobile kind of roamer, and the big shooting would turn into your. It's already more of a casting type tree, right? All the abilities that in the big shooter are castables, except for maybe exploding arrow, which is an AoE. I think the castables that you pick up in the tree should be an AoE damage castable, and it turns into your AoE tree. I don't know. That's what I was hoping we'd see, but we'll have to stay tuned to see what they come up with.
I'd love to see an AoE ranged build. I think it would be. I'd love to see it. There's no range on a squig herder. There's no AoE range on a squig herder. You have to swap to meleeed. It's an oversight, but you know, it's what they wanted when they built the game. So let's just fix that now, shall we? Anyway.
Yeah, let's make all classes support multiple viable builds.
I agree.
What do you think on that, Serj?
No, I agree. I shouldn't be locked into playing one way. There's 3 trees.
If I want to play a warband, I have to do melee squig. Otherwise,
unless you're running in a squig band or a goblin band, which, you know, we do those every once in a while. Or you're doing a small man, 6-man or a 12-man. But, you know, you did say if you're running a war band, like if you're in an organized war band, nobody wants a ranged squig because they don't have any AoE. They have really good kill potential, but you're not going to bring more than one ranged squig. They're going to be like the days of old where you brought a single witch hunter or a single witch elf in a warband to pick off priority targets in the back lines. That's basically what Strange Squig has become for a warband. Nobody wants one. So let's fix that.
Shame. Such a fun class. Such a fun class.
Absolute blast.
So additionally, there's itemization updates. Itemization has undergone one of its most significant overhauls in years. The development teams implemented a comprehensive rebalance of gear across the game, and I think their goal is to address the stat inflation that's accumulated over time. Hopefully it'll create a healthier path of progression for new players entering the game. As part of these changes, new tiers of Genesis accessories have been introduced. They give players additional upgrade options, right? And while I love that they're stepping out of their comfort zone and doing this, I don't think the current iteration is worth it.
No, they're too expensive.
It's too expensive for the bonus you receive, and this is supposed to be the strictly PvP route of accessories.
Yeah,
this should be so much stronger in the final tier. You spend 160 crests on your or Genesis crests on your accessories. They should be close to Sov.
It's incremental changes. It's incremental upgrades for a lot of crests. It's way too much
for
work.
2 gold bags.
Yeah, it's not worth it. I think they need to be reduced in cost.
Right. But thankfully, the itemization project isn't finished yet. There's still changes, so there's still a chance for them to update this, and I'm sure they will. I'm sure they've heard all the feedback. There's an upcoming July patch expected to complete the remaining armor adjustments. It's also, they said they're going to reduce the cost of Triumph and Victorious jewelry.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to make the progression more accessible for players working towards endgame builds, and those that bought those accessories already are going to get a refund of their crest, which is
what
great.
Are you going to do with your crests?
At this point, what are you going to fucking do with your crests? Buy a bunch of health potions?
No, it's right here. Right here, the next thing down.
The weapon progression.
No. Sorry, next thing. After that.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that is.
The plus 25 talismans?
Those going to be locked behind crests?
Well, we don't know. We don't know what exactly is going to be utilized for making the plus 25 talismans, but
Tosh, I've watched Tosh complain about how many crests he has and just delete like 4,000 live on stream. So if they're adding a way for these players that want to progress that are R85, 90, my God, a place to dump their crest that they're getting, that's actually a really, really good plan. I like that a lot.
Yeah. The new weapon tier after the anathema or the reverence weapons, it's going to be crests right there too.
Long-term goals. You need that after you hit 80. Sometimes the cosmetic reward at 85 isn't enough, and people just go on to their next character to have, more things to do. So I think this will be good.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do once I hit this on my Squig Herder. I like to think that I'm going to keep
forever.
I like to think that I'm going to keep playing the Squig Herder after I'm Biss on it, but what's the challenge? I don't like... I mean, Squig Herder's challenging, so I think I'll be fine. But I like progression. Like, progression is the name of the game for me. But yeah, Bank has said that in this game you can progress even further once you're Biss, and he's not wrong. Like, you have your personal like, you get better at the game, right? Your personal progression, your muscle memory, as it were. So there's that. So Do you think that the reducing the costs of the ring is going to be met with some positive feedback?
Yes, 100%. 100%.
I like it.
It's reducing the cost for everyone. Why would anyone complain?
Yeah, well, you know, I had to pay 10,000 crests. You have to pay 10,000 crests.
But you didn't, because you got 8,000 crests
I
back.
know, I know. I'm just saying, like, you know, there are people that feel that way. Like, I had to pay $1 million for college, so everybody else should have to pay $1 million for college. So, you know what I mean? There are those people that believe that they have that line of thinking. If I had to suffer, then everybody else should have to suffer. It builds character. But does it? I don't think it does. What do you think about the plus 25 talismans?
You're playing video games. I like the idea a lot. I didn't read into it much, to be honest, until we just talked about it here, and I really like it. I like the
Bro.
idea of that. I'm just serious. I was like, oh, another +1 stat. That's what, +7 stats. I don't give a shit. But I think, you know, once you hit 80, you have your
Once you're
gear.
bis,
What are you gonna do? Now you can progress towards those couple extra stat point bonuses.
Yeah.
And, hey,
so
let's go.
those 7 stat points may push you to certain thresholds that you weren't able to reach before.
I'll push you to a threshold.
I know you will. Push me down the stairs, more like. So, does this game need more long-term progression systems?
Yeah. I think the current progression system is huge. If you don't know what you're doing, a first-time player, it's a long-term progression to get to 80.
It feels
to get
like
to that
it.
big 78. But as soon as you have one character there and you know what you're doing, it's quick. It's fast.
It goes faster the second time. That's what she said.
You you need another reason to keep going after 80. Like I love the dock, but you know, do I really want to go into RvR with it every time? No, because I'm not going to see much progression anymore.
I mean,
I think a long-term progression system for 80 to 85, 85 to 90 would be super beneficial.
you need to look at the big picture here. You need to get your dock to 255.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, that is
That's
your
the goal.
long-term goal.
That's
There's only a
my,
handful of people that even got over 100, and I commend them.
future grandchildren's goal to hit level 255 on my character.
So, hot topic here. Should PvE and PvP rewards remain separate?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so.
I think so too.
There's separate armors. There's separate rewards for doing separate activities, but they have them on the same tiers.
Yeah, they're different.
I don't think there's an issue.
Horizontal.
What I would like to see is, you know, we have multiple armor sets in the PvE tiers, you know, maybe a multiple armor sets in the PvP tiers. More horizontal progression, right? Once you hit Sov, there's 3 different sets you can get, which is really nice. How about in the mid-tier progressions? If you're just doing RvR, can we have more than just Annihilator that you can pick up?
There's 2, but I understand what you're saying.
When I'm leveling with the dock, right? I'm stuck until, you know, level 35.
Yeah, but that's
I can
because you
do
like
certain
to play
specs.
off meta builds.
But other people like to play off meta builds.
Yeah.
They're in the game. Why can't I play that way until I hit a certain level just because of the gear?
If shield dock is a thing, I should be able to shield dock from level 1. If DPS dock is a thing, I should be able to DPS dock from level 1. Like, why are these gear sets not available until later? I get what you're saying, and I agree. So, you know, another change they have coming out, is the update to the Renown trainer. They're going to
Thank
be
God.
reworking
The
the Renown
Renown trainer
trainer.
is so horrible.
They're going to be fixing the UI. I'm sure that's what you're talking about, but the
Yes.
itemization
Yes.
changes that have been happening have incentivized them to look into the Renown points that you spend. I was talking about this the other day. If you are a melee DPS, you need weapon skill and strength. If you are a caster, you need int. Nothing else. There's no magic pin or armor pin that you need for magic. All I have to do is dump all of my points into int, and then I can freely spend the rest of my points however I want. But if you're melee DPS, you have to go into strength and weapon skill to do armor pin. So you have to spend your points in 2 places as opposed to 1. So those things should be fixed, right? I think they should be. Instead of having to be putting my points into 2 different trees versus 1, or so instead of having to do 2 trees, then reduce the costs or fix the costs, or I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. All I know is they've said that some classes benefit more than others, and that was my takeaway.
I think that melee being able to put into 2 trees, 2 stat points that increase their damage is better than casters. You don't play casters much, so it's better than casters only being able to put into intelligence and not being able to put into something that allows you to bypass the current disrupt.
Resistances.
The current disrupt and the resistances is insane. A brand new Magus trying to throw out dots at level 40, you're going to be ticking for 15 damage. You're going to be tickling people, and it's demoralizing to see, and I know people who stop playing because of that. I would love, rather than, make it this is a bad thing, I'd love them to add in, a resistance and disrupt bypass type thing. Like how they disrupt, and then you choose whether you want to bypass the disrupt more or you want to pump the damage more. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Like, you have to put into 2 different trees for melee. You don't have the option for range. So what you're saying is you think they should allow you the option to.
Yes, I feel like magic casters are at a disadvantage to melee because melee have a way to bypass it, whereas casters don't. As soon as I got my Sork to level 40, I was super excited. I just got my fucking red eye gear, excuse my language, but everything was being disrupted. Everything was low damage because I didn't have top of the line gear, and until you get maxed out in intelligence, you're doing nothing because it's all being disrupted. It's all doing minimum damage. If there was a stat I could put in early to allow me to bypass, that would not only give me more places to spend my renown points, but it would enable me to be useful at renown rank 40, CR 40. So I think of this as a benefit to caster classes rather than trying to bring caster classes down to a melee level, if that makes sense.
No, I don't think that was the intention, is to bring anybody down. I'm hoping that it just builds everybody up. You never want to nerf characters to a lower state to match the underperforming classes. You know what I mean?
So buff everyone else and give everyone a lion.
No. There's such a thing as overperforming. You do have to nerf
I
overperforming.
want my black orc to have a saber-tooth tiger.
You do have to nerf overperforming classes like the Shadow Warrior that's critting for 6k on a Black Orc. Those things happen. You do have to fix that. You can't bring everybody else up to that level because then the time to kill is going to be even faster than 3 seconds. 3 seconds is a very short amount of time. So
2 global cooldowns.
Yeah.
2 skills to cast. So what would you like to see changed?
Basically everything we talked about, man. I didn't think about it from that perspective because I've never played a caster. I've only played physical DPS. Witch Elf, Marauder, Squig Herder. Those are all physical DPS, and those all require weapons. Well, I guess Witch Elf doesn't require weapon skill, but you need a lot of weapon skill. So yeah, I think bringing the new option in for magic DPS to be able to bypass that stuff would put them on par with everybody else. So yeah,
it's super exciting, and like I was talking about, I think it's definitely going to lead to more build options.
I hope so.
Well, we've been talking for a long time.
This is a long one.
Let's hurry up here.
She said.
Let's get into upcoming events. Right, looking ahead, players have several seasonal events to look forward to. Each bringing unique rewards and activities. In June, Twilight's Tide returns. Come on, guys. It's going to give you all the opportunity to earn and craft the powerful annulus rings. You know, those rings that go for 2,000 gold on your side just through the event participation, right?
Oh.
Then maybe you don't want to wear it and you can just sell it.
Craft them all, boys. Hold on to
them. July is going to feature the Saga to complete grudges, continuing the ongoing narrative and campaign. You're going to offer players to a chance to complete challenges and earn rewards and settle disputes in true Warhammer fashion, right? This is the one where you get a book of grudges and you kill so many dwarves and you get rewards for that. I
had a lot of fun with that. Stunting. Get the stunters.
I remember us in a war band. I think I was leading and I was looking for high elves, and I turned the entire war band just to go chase down this level 16 Shadow Warrior that was trying to kite us because I need elves. That was so much fun. Probably not fun for that new level 16.
This whole war band just chased me down. Crest or
in
crests.
August, yeah. In August, Pie Week is making its return. Lots of dies, new or return of fun activities. Players are going to look forward to that special 1-hour buff of consumables. It's similar to Linimits, but you get it from the pies that you make. There's going to be an apple bobbing activity, right? That happens each year. And then temporary event mount. We all like the mounts.
Which temporary mount is it? Oh,
the legendary not flying pig.
The best mount in the game. Squig on a pig. Squig on a pig is bliss. I love it. And don't forget about the starting this week for the event, this weekend, June 12th. We have the 12th year anniversary of Return of Reckoning. You're going to earn 2 times crests, and there's a Twitch drop event as well. So make sure you're watching us on Twitch. Which one of these events are you most looking forward to?
I think Pie Week. I think that's where I can get the pea green dye from.
Oh, you want that for your dye scheme, huh?
Yeah, for my color scheme. I love the dyes, and that is super expensive. It goes for like 60 gold per. So if you're looking for a way to make money, buy pea green dye and hold on to it for 6 months when it's not available in the auction house anymore, and then just sell it for 60 gold. That's what people did to me. I spent like 1,000 gold. How about you? Are you gonna be making an analyst ring?
I'm probably going to be making a couple of analyst rings. Yes. My biggest frustration with the analyst ring is there's not one for blocking, but you know, that's just from the eyes of a tank. There are other good jewelry pieces in the game for tanks, but I'd like to see more options. Right now, we're stuck with the Rough Gun Bad Diamond and Sauve and Triumph. Those are 3 pieces of gear that you have to have, and then the fourth one typically is standard, but you have a little bit of options for the fourth one. But no, man, I'm looking forward to that pig. Always want more pigs. Are you going to be making an analyst ring? Did I ask you that?
You didn't. Probably not. I probably won't be.
All right, I'm going to ask you that. Are you going to be making an analyst ring, Shep?
No.
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 That's why? You already biss on all your characters? You got everything you need?
No, I just don't really care so much for it. It's not different enough from my LV rings.
Yeah,
that
it's
I'm
like
running
one
on my dock.
more point of stats,
Right,
1 or 2
right.
points. It's
If I do
incremental.
it, it's gonna be to make some money. I'll probably sell it.
Okay. That's the Onyx ones are really good for money. The armor and armor and weapon skill. All right, guys. So overall, we feel like this roadmap is incredibly exciting. So some of these updates are right around the corner, while many others are going to take much longer. But it's clear that the RvR team has their vision. They know where they want to take this game, and we are excited to see where it's going to go.
Oh yeah. You know, if you're excited for dungeons, cities, scenarios, balance changes, or just riding around on a pig, there's something coming for you in 2026.
Squig on a pig, let's go!
Let's go!
All right, let us know in the comments what announcement you're most excited for and what concerns you may still have.
Yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Keep your guards up, party cleanse, and blades ready. See you next time.